Today, I'm going to be talking about the 12th house Venus. And this resonates with anybody who has a 12th house Venus or who is a Scorpio rising or a Gemini rising. Scorpio rising because you have Libra in your 12th house, and Gemini rising because you have Taurus in your 12th house. I have a 12th house Sagittarius Venus at 22 degrees, and it's a lot. Now, these individuals, from what I've noticed, they are like the embodiment of love and a muse. You're here to show people not just a standard of how you should love yourself, but also you mirror how they love themselves. So dating you, they get to see a reflection of what they are to another person. And that ends up coming with a lot of projections onto the 12th house Venus. And I would recommend anybody with 12th house placements to practice affirmations to push out any thoughts of what other people project onto you, because you can get into a moment where you start to question, like, hey, is this really what I am to others? When it really isn't. But people don't know what to do with your energy. Now, people who have 12th house Venus, your lovers are karmic. You basically came to this world, and everyone else from your past life, that you've probably dated or had a very intimate relationship with, came into this life, and you're going to have this karmic relationship with them. Now, this doesn't apply to just lovers. This applies also to friends, your family, everyone around you. And what I mean by that is that you might sit here and go, oh my God, like this keeps happening to me, this keeps happening to me. Yes, because you are just a part of that person's story. But when you take a step back and you actually look at it, the control really is in the 12th house Venus person. We have the opportunity to take it as far as it needs to go. And a lot of times, the reason why it ends up going really, really farther where the 12th house person would have not wanted to have gone, is because its 12th house is also ruled by dreams and illusions and like this Neptune Jupiter energy. And I don't really like doing the modern planets into the houses, but in some way, like, because this is like another world that you have this connection with this person, like this all ends up becoming so intense. I feel like the 12th house Venus person is the one that needs to figure out their worth in this world. And when you put yourselves in these types of situations, you question your worth, you question what you want, and this affects how you make money. Because Venus rules money, and when you are in love with yourself, when you are happy, money flows in like a nice feminine energy. But when you are in situations that it's very, very rough, where you don't know, and you're doing this, and you're doing things that are out of your character, your money is going to take a hit, your self-worth is going to take a hit, everything around is going to take a hit. If you have 12th house placements or 12th house Venus, you should see what's going on in your 4th house and in your 8th house. Now, I'm going to talk specifically to Scorpio risings. If you're Scorpio rising, you have Libra in your 12th house, and that means Venus is ruling your 12th house. You need to ensure that you don't put yourself out in a sense that you overbalance yourself, like people get more than what they should out of you. And this placements, I feel like, is a placement where you need boundaries. And if you don't have boundaries, you are going to end up signing away everything you own to whoever it is that can get in the way. And I wouldn't say to avoid Libra placements in your chart, because Libra is fair, but I would say be careful or cautious with Aries placements. And also, I believe Gemini, whoever lands in your 8th house, it would have to be a very soft energy that lands in your 8th house to support the 12th house Venus. Now, this is for Gemini risings. You have Taurus in your 12th house, and it makes you stoic and very, very calm in your love life and with yourself and your peace. And it's not a bad placement for the 12th house to be in my opinion. You can build like stable security within yourself that no one can tell you no about what you see. And I think the only thing that I would recommend is that you need to dream more and manifest more. You get so caught up in the comfort, you end up losing out on a lot of stuff that you can dream for. So when you have Venus in your 12th house, you also have to see where Libra and Taurus is in your chart. So for example, I have Venus in Sagittarius in my 12th house. My 10th house is ruled by Libra, and my 5th house is ruled by Taurus. Whatever's going on in the sky with Venus, with my chart, my 10th house and my fifth house are also activated. Or if there are transits going on in my 10th or 5th house, they can trigger my 12th house. And it's true because when Taurus was in Uranus, it was opposing my Scorpio moon, and that transit in my 5th house, I had a surprise kid, and I was very isolated. I had my kid during COVID, and I was just chilling by myself. My partner was with me at the time, but he wasn't allowed in the hospital rooms and whatever. 12th house also rules like being isolated and being on your own in hospital settings and stuff. And I was put on a pedestal too by like his family and my family, which triggered my 10th house too. And also, since Venus rules money, you just have to be mindful that if you do not love yourself, your money's going to be down bad. That's literally all it is. And if you need to figure out how you're going to show up for yourself, you need to check your 2nd house, because your 2nd house is an introduction to your self-worth. So here I'm going to talk about advice for dating. So if you have Venus in your 12th house, you need to be careful of the sign that opposes it. So let's say if you have a Aries 12th house Venus, you need to be careful with people who have Libra that transit your 6th house. If you have a Gemini Venus 12th house, you need to be careful with people who have planets in your 6th house Sagittarius. If you have a Virgo 12th house Venus, you need to be careful with people who have Pisces in your 6th house Venus, and whatever, like any placements in your 6th house really that opposes your 12th house Venus. And the reason why is because your 6th house rules your daily routine. It also rules your nervous system and your day-to-day life. So since the 12th house Venus is naturally isolated, this person wants to be alone. Like, you want your alone time. The 6th, whenever there's somebody that comes in your 6th house, they want to be there every single day of your life. And they do not understand your aloneness. Now, can it work? Completely. But if you can understand that part, then yeah, it's going to work out. But just be mindful, because 12th house Venus people have a lot of, they have a lot of karmic debt that they have to repay in this life. So when they're dating someone and this person doesn't have necessarily this much karmic love debt as the 12th house Venus person, it can feel a little bit like a seesaw imbalance. You have to be mindful, if you're not ready for to see someone every single day, you should stay away if your Venus lands in that person's 6th house as well, or if any of your placements land in that person's 6th house, because they're gonna wanna, see you every single effing fucking day, and you're gonna sit there and be like, whoa. But I will say that a lot of people can find their partner, get married with this placement, because since this placement is in regard of high value, like, you are here and you love yourself up here, like, that's the goal for yourself, you end up attracting somebody that can end up meeting you there. And if you can't, and if you don't ever find that, that is okay. because you really are going to need someone special to match that big love. I hope you guys enjoyed my video on 12th house Venus. If you guys have any questions, if you'd like me to make a video on something else, please comment below. I am going to see about recording the second house next. So if there's, again, any recommendations, and I think it's called like and subscribe. So yeah.